Good afternoon, coders. My name is Ghaziabad. I'm the assistant professor in Department of Computer Science from ABES Engineering College. And today's my topic is perfect number. Well, this is from the domain of problem solving. Let me see what is the problem statement is all about. Well, what the problem statement is all about. The problem is saying that a perfect number is a positive integer that is equal to the sum of its positive divisors excluding the number itself. To further explore that, a divisor of an integer x is an integer that can divide x evenly. It continues like given an integer small n that return true if n is perfect number, otherwise return false. Actually, I've taken this problem from lead code. Okay, so lead code problem is saying that we have given some number, random number, integer number. Okay, make this sure integer number, and we have to return if it is perfect number, then we have to return true. Otherwise, we have to return false. Now the question arises that what is perfect number? So as the statement is saying, a perfect number is a positive integer. Make this point positive integer that equals to the sum of positive divisors, excluding that number. Okay, so let us take an example for more explanation. Like we have taken an input 28. Okay, now it's returning true. Why it is returning true or it is giving output as a true? Because the divisors of 28 is 1, 2, 24, 7, 14, and 28 itself, but we'll exclude them because the problem statement is saying we have to exclude that number, right? Now, sum these numbers, add these numbers 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 and plus 14. The total is equal to 28. That is the number itself. So there they are equal. That means the number and its divisor are equal, and its sum of its divisor are equal. So that's why it's a perfect number. As it is saying, it's a perfect number. Now let us take another example. Number 7. Now number 7 has a factor like 1 and 7. In 1 and 7, we'll exclude 7, but only 1. So the sum of 1 is not 7. So that's why this is a false. Means this is not a perfect number. Now the constraint for the problem is whatever input we are taking as a number, that shouldn't be greater than greater than 10 to the power 8. 10 to the power is a huge number. The number should be in between 0 to 10 to the power 8. Now this is my approach. I'll explain it with lead code. The link is here. Let me explain it with the lead code. Just give me 1 minute. Share. Here it is the problem. The problem number is 507, perfect number. The statement is the same. The perfect number is a positive integer and so on. Example is same. Both examples and constraints are same. Okay. Now here is my solution on the right hand side. I have completed a function. The solution is in language C. Okay. What I have done, I've initialized a sum with 0, integer sum as 0. And then I have taken a for loop. And in that for loop, integer I initialize with 1 and up to and num by 2. This num by 2, what is this? Num is the number whatever we are checking that it is a perfect number or not. Num is that number ना जिसको हम check कर रहे हैं that it is a perfect number or not. ठीक है. So that's why we have to check it num by 2. Why we are checking it num by 2? Because on the half of the road we came to know what are the divisors it has. Okay, we don't have to check it and num minus 1 or up to n, up to num. We have to check it up to num by 2. Okay, and after checking from 1 to num by 2, in that for loop, we'll check which number is perfect divisors. This if statement is saying is what it is saying. It is saying if it is a perfect divisor, that means the modulus is 0. Modulus is 0 means remainder is 0. If remainder is 0, that means that number is perfect divisor, right? So that I is a perfect divisor. Suppose a 1. We have taken integer 28, right? In the example, we have taken integer 28. Okay. Now, 28 divided by 1, that comes 0. That means I will be with the 1. Okay. Then after that 2, 1 will upgrade to 2. Then 2 divided by 28, that is 0. So 1 plus 2. And after that 3, when I will be 3, then again we have to check that. And after that, we'll see that num is not the 28 modulus 3 is not equals to 0. That's why we are not we are not adding that number. Okay. So we kept on adding those numbers who are perfectly divising that given number. Here in my example was 28 and was 7. But 28 was divided by 1, 2, 7, and 14, right? So that was giving right answer. Now again, after we'll calculate sum, then we will compare it with that given number. If the addition of the summation of that number is equal to that number, then obviously that is a perfect number. And if it is not equal to that number, then we'll return false because it is not a perfect number. So here it is the solution for perfect number. Again, I'm repeating the problem. The problem is saying you have to return a perfect number. Sorry, you have to return true if it is a perfect number, and you have to return false if it is not a perfect number, right? The example was 28. The constraint was 1 to 21 to 10 to the power 20, 10 to the power 8. The integer, sorry, the input value should be less than 10 to the power 8. And after that, this is the function जो मैंने complete किया है, and then this is the solution. Okay, so here it is from my side. Thank you, and solve it in your lead code platform.